big new update for Marvel Spider-Man 2 is here. It comes chock full with a ton of free suits, some of which honestly I thought didn't look good at first, but with the suit styles look a lot better. But that's not all. There are some quality of life fixes in here that I know a ton of people are going to be really happy about. We're going to go over everything in this update in this video. Of course, this update was announced just last week. Insomniac tweeted just out of the blue saying, hit the like button on Caboose's videos. And then they also tweeted that there's an update that's coming, well, today, and it's gonna have these celebrity suits, you know, kids super designed some of them. And then as well, there's gonna be returning suits from Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. So that means we get a grand total of 8 new suits added into the game. 2 of the celebrity design suits for Peter, 2 for Miles, and then 2 returning suits for Peter and 2 for Miles. I think a lot of people are very hyped for the fact that the Spider-Verse suit for Peter is here finally. Peter B. Parker, it's in the game. I didn't waste any time equipping the Spider-Verse suit for Peter and then also having Miles across the Spider-Verse suit and then running around trying to find a random crime where the 2 Spider-Men were teaming up. It is just awesome to see both of those suits together on screen at once. I am so glad they finally added this, and I'll be honest, the suit should have been in the game from day one. I love the Spider-Verse Noir suit. I am really glad that they included it, but the Peter B. Parker suit, that's the one that should have been there. And yeah, some of those celebrity suits, of course, you know, you've heard me talk about them plenty of times in the past. I'm really not the biggest fan of their designs, and I still don't think I am. But, okay, when you go through and select some of them, there are suit styles. And when you select them, it makes them look a lot better. I'm not saying that they look great now all of a sudden, but it looks a lot better. The best thing is that they made it so that some of these suit styles just had the classic colors per the Spider-Man. So some of these celebrity design suits for Miles have a black and red colorway, and then same for Peter. Some of them just have the red and blue. I still don't really love the Rina Sawayama design. I just don't think it's working for me. The lines and the mask look super weird. But you know, the suit with the motorcycle helmet, if you're rocking the classic colors with the white spider emblem, it looks pretty decent, honestly. I'm not sure what they were thinking with the colors in the original design, but Insomniac swooped in and said, we're gonna save you guys with the suit styles here. Oh, and one of the suit styles, weirdly, for the Last Stand suit is the colors of the Arachno Man, if you might remember from Ultimate Spider-Man. I thought that was a fun little nod, but you know, get the Arachno Man suit in the game. The Last Stand suit has some really cool suit styles though. They have an all black and white one, you know, so if you wanna rock the symbiote tendrils with that, go nuts. And you know, that actually reminds me, the patch notes have come out with this update and gave us some details about all the things that are coming with the update alongside the free new suits. One of them being the ability to swap your parry and traversal ability. It says right here in the patch notes, parry/traversal ability swap, the ability to swap the spider arms and symbiote and vice versa per community feedback. These options can be found under gameplay settings and include default. The option remains unchanged to how it is pre-patch. Symbiote. Only the symbiote arms will be used for parry and traversal abilities. Spider arms. Only the spider arms will be used for parry and traversal abilities. And then suit. Symbiote suits use symbiote-based parry and traversal abilities. Other suits use the spider arms. So, you know, if you want to use the all-black Last Stand suit colorway and then you want to have the symbiote traversal abilities and the symbiote parry, well, now you can do that. And again, you gotta give a shout out to Insomniac for taking in the community feedback, for listening to the things that we wanted, and then implementing those features into the game. They also finally fixed in New Game Plus, where if you go into Symbiote Surge, you actually change now into the symbiote suit. I didn't mind the way it was before because there are a lot of really cool symbiote suit styles that you can rock in Symbiote Surge, but obviously it didn't make much sense if I was using a red and blue suit, and I wouldn't change into a symbiote suit when I symbiote surge, and I was going crazy. There's also some accessibility additions here. They said Funky added a look at waypoint support for the opening circuit box. Funky added an activity skip for the Spider-Bot section. And then for Homecoming, added skip puzzle for the tether puzzle. There's tons of other bug fixes that they addressed here in the patch notes. You know, apparently there were street signs that weren't properly popping up. It says here as well that it addressed an issue where you could not launch turbines in the Brooklyn Heights Emily May Foundation mission. Apparently there was an issue where the spider logo would float in certain poses on the websuit. That being, of course, the Raimi suit, for those of you who don't know. And yeah, okay, if you were wondering if they were going to be doing any updates to any of the suits that you like, that you wanted some touch-ups on, there isn't anything like that that I could find in this update. So the Raimi suit still looks how it did, and honestly, what they did with it, the update that they added, it does look perfect now. They don't need to touch it again. Some people are still getting a little nitpicky about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, but I think it looks fine. Now that they fixed the eyes, we don't got to worry about that anymore. It looks good, okay? But there is one more big thing that they added in this update that a lot of people were wondering about, and I honestly thought we weren't going to see in this update, and we maybe would have had to have waited a little longer. And well, first you got to subscribe and turn on those notifications before we talk about what it is. But it's mentioned here in the patch notes, addressed feedback, where the frequency of symbiote finishers was too low or almost non-existent in New Game Plus. A lot of people noticed, and honestly, I don't even know if this was specifically a New Game Plus thing, that, well, after you beat the game, when you're using a symbiote suit, you don't really do the symbiote takedowns anymore. You know, remember the gameplay reveal that we got actually around this time last year, where we saw Spider-Man going nuts with the symbiote suit, doing all these crazy takedowns with the tendrils? I kind of missed the ability to do that in the random crimes after the game was beaten. Thankfully, though, they've upped the frequency. I tested this out by using a symbiote suit, and the first random crime that I encountered and the first takedown that I did was an awesome symbiote suit inspired takedown. Using the tendrils, it's extra brutal, it looks sick, and I can't wait to play around in photo mode. And you just gotta once again give a shout out to Insomniac for the way that they take in that community feedback. They're absorbing all the things that we're asking of them, and they're implementing it into the game. Whether it's the ability to change the symbiote tendrils to either the white or the black, whether it's the ability to change your parry animation or your traversal abilities to either the spider arms or the symbiote tendrils, or whether it's upping the frequency of symbiote takedowns in New Game Plus, or hopefully just after you beat the game in general. I really love what Insomniac is doing here, but now again, I am crossing my fingers that we're gonna be getting DLC, like proper post-launch content for Marvel Spider-Man 2. I love that they add these little free updates in. You know, we got New Game Plus, we got a ton of new suits added to the game, but now I'm hoping for some more missions, maybe a new villain, something of that sort. I have said it many times before, I will say it again. This game just cannot be done with its content. We see so many PlayStation titles getting DLC. Even God of War Ragnarok. Nobody expected we were going to get DLC for the game, and we did. And you know what? It took about a year for that to happen, so maybe that's how long we gotta wait for Spider-Man 2. But with that being said, let me now kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think about this brand new update for the game? How do you feel about the celebrity suits, especially now that you get to see some of the different suit styles for them? And how do you feel about the returning suits for both Peter and Miles? And also, what do you think about some of those updates added in? And lastly, I know there's been a ton of quality of life updates for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and there's been so many great things that they've added along the way, but are there still some things that you hope that they update and add into the game in the future in terms of quality of life? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments below. I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.